Hello, everybody. Excuse me. Figured, gee, I should clear my throat before I start talking and stumbling over myself. Good afternoon, and welcome to the stream. Once again, another late start, which I apologize for. But hopefully, at least with some good justification today, which I will explain momentarily. Okay. I'm quite honestly a little tired today. I'm drinking an energy drink. Well, not energy drink, but G Fuel, which is different than a standard horrible energy drink for you. So hoping that'll kick in within the next hour or so. But I am a little lagging behind today. Last night, I was relaxing. I was supervising uploads of the Spider-Man videos, which, by the way, have gone live. If you have not watched them yet, the amazing Spider-Man 2 playthrough is now completely live and up to date with what's been going on the stream. So tomorrow night, second stream will be hopefully the conclusion. It may lag up a bit. There's four story missions left. And that's what I plan on focusing on the stream tomorrow night. But that playthrough is now up to date on YouTube. And as I was doing that, I was actually tweeting. Now, you guys know, well, maybe you don't, but early last year, early in 2013, I made a commitment that I was going to try to be more socially interactive with my viewer base. That I was going to try to be more responsive. A lot of people had always said that, Phil, you have these accounts on Twitter and you have these accounts on Facebook and you have, a website and you have all this stuff, but you don't really respond too much when we talk to you. And it's annoying. We'd like you to be more socially interactive. And so for the past year, I really have made an effort that when it comes to social media, in particular Twitter, I'll say this, it's very hard to follow Facebook. Facebook is outdated. Facebook is old. Facebook is not something where it's easy to respond to anyone who's talking to you. It's not. And so my Facebook account is basically a mirror of my Twitter account, okay? Full disclosure here. If you want to talk to me, the best ways to do it are, number one, email, darksidephil@hotmail.com. Although I cannot promise that I will respond or, read your email in a timely manner because I get hundreds of emails there a day. Number two would be Twitter, @TheyCallMeDSP. And most people contact me via Twitter, okay? So I've been making an honest effort this past year. Geez, it's already May. So it's already the past year and a half. Holy crap, today's the first day of May. I've kind of facepalm myself here to realize what the hell month it is. It's nuts. But yeah, and so, I do check Twitter quite often, and I do my best to respond and or follow up and kind of be in the know on what's going on with stuff. Okay? And last night, I got a tweet late. It was very late. It was like 3-something in the morning. Which, usually I go to sleep around 4 to 5 a.m. And I know that sounds late for everybody. But you have to keep in mind, I go to sleep at 4 to 5 a.m. But I usually wake up between 12 to 1 p.m. to prepare for that day's first stream. Which starts around 1:30 to 2:30 p.m. That's my schedule is very odd compared to other people's schedule. It's a staggered schedule for streaming. So I got this tweet from a few guys who were like, listen, we're really trying to get stuff going. We're trying to do a charity stream. And we would like your support. Now, they tweeted a bunch of people. I don't even know who else they tweeted. Because number one, it was so early in the morning. And number two, as you guys know, I don't follow other people on Twitch, on YouTube, on Twitter. I don't know who other people are, really. I mean, there's a few people I know who I'm a little bit more friendly with than others, such as SSOHPKC, Maximilian, even to some extent, and I don't talk to him very often, Ghost Robo. You know, a few people who are under the Machinima umbrella, and if we have issues, we can talk to each other about that kind of stuff, and, you know, we support each other. We even though we don't watch each other's content all the time, we do like each other's content, and we respect each other. But I don't really have that kind of, you know, social interaction with other people who do what I do. I've kind of always been the odd guy out, the guy who does his own thing. He's isolated. The best way to describe it would probably be that I'm on an island. You know, everyone else is kind of like on the same peninsula, hanging out, while I'm on this island out in the sea by myself. And not that that's a bad thing, because I think it's isolated me from a lot of things that maybe could have negatively affected me. But at the same time, you know, I'm not really in line with a lot of the other guys. I don't do co-op with them. You don't see collaborations between me and other people who make content, etc. So anyway, last night I get this tweet. Late. We're doing a charity stream. We'd really like it if you checked it out. But it was very confusing. Like, the way that he worded it was almost like a question, or it was like they were asking something. So I didn't even understand what the hell they were saying. I was like, huh? I responded. I was like, huh? What do you mean? And so I clicked the link on my iPad, and it brought me up to their stream on Twitch, where they were, of all things, they're doing a Metal Gear Solid, not even Metal Gear Solid, but Metal Gear Marathon, where they committed to playing Metal Gear Solid 1 through Part 5 Ground Zeroes on a 36-hour stream, non-stop, even though they did take, I know they were going to take breaks, but non-stop, and they were trying to raise money for Child's Play. You know, the common charity when it comes to these gaming charities and the causes that they try to raise money for. Child's Play is a very common one. For those of you who aren't familiar with it, it's a charity where, first of all, it's run by Gabe and Tycho, the guys behind Penny Arcade. And what it is a gamer-related charity where if there are kids who are very sick in the hospital, and, you know, they're stuck there for an extended period of time. I'm sure some of these kids, unfortunately, maybe will never, you know, get out of the hospital. What this charity does is it basically pays to provide these kids with a means of fun entertainment for the time that they're there. And at least that's what it was years ago when I first heard of Child's Play. I don't even know, maybe it's changed since then. Who knows? I mean, Child's Play has been around for a long time, and I have no clue if it's ever, you know, evolved from what it once was. But that is pretty much the gist of the charity. Pretty well intentioned, right? And so they're doing this for this charity, and I jump on the stream, and the viewership's low. Which, quite honestly, I'm not surprised at, because it was like the middle of the morning. Now, I don't know, I mean, some of those guys were in the Midwest or whatever. It's like, but you started to do your charity stream at midnight. I'm not exactly sure if that's the best time to do it. When people are asleep. But maybe they figured, you know, Metal Gear Solid 1 and 2, maybe we won't draw many viewers anyway. I don't know. So they started it really late at night. I'm like, all right, well, these guys seem cool. I'm listening to the stream. I listened for maybe 5-10 minutes. Like, okay, well, it's a bunch of guys shooting the shit, talking about random stuff. And I'm like, well, I'm not doing anything at this point, you know, supervising some uploads, and I'm starting to get tired. So I guess, you know, let's see what's going on. And I started chatting in the stream chat with them. And they were so, like, surprised. They were like, oh my god, DSP is actually here. Like, we couldn't believe it. We're so, you know, we're blown away that Phil would be here. To which I'm thinking, I don't know why. Like, who am I for anyone to be, like, blown away that I would be watching their stream? What's the big deal with that? You know, if this were 2010 or 2011, you know, when I had any kind of power behind my words like I did back then, you know, like we're talking about, you know, 2011, a year when anyone doing video game footage whatsoever on the internet was in massive jeopardy because of laws that our lawmakers in the United States were looking to put into effect. And I made a video about it, kind of alerting people to the situation, right? And my video got 600,000 views. So let me just put that in perspective. Back in 2011, if something was important and I wanted, you know, if I really felt that people should be talking about it, I could get 600,000 people to pay attention within, say, a week. That's pretty neat, right? But let's face it, that was 2011. And this is 2014, and things on the internet have changed. And I'm no longer the guy who's, you know, the known independent who is the go-to guy for game footage. I know that, you know. I'm a realist. I'm not trying to be a pessimist. I'm trying to be a realist. Trust me, I don't drink Kool-Aid, and I don't try to fool myself. Things have changed, you know. The next generation of people have slid into those spots on YouTube to take the throne of the top YouTube gamers. And I still exist, and I'm still happy to exist because of a more hardcore fan base who really enjoy everything that I do, regardless of the fact if it gets 5 views or 5 billion views. You know what I mean? Today I'm playing a game, Child of Light, an RPG, that I very much am enjoying. I think the visual style is excellent, but pretty much no one has really caught on watching this thing. And I'm disappointed at that, but that's the mentality of the internet now is, oh no, it's an RPG, it's turn-based, that means it sucks, it's boring. I'm going to ignore the characters, I'm going to ignore the story, I'm going to ignore the visuals, and just say, it's a turn-based RPG, so it's boring. And I slap my forehead and I say, oh my god, this is really the mentality of the people. When, you know, when I started on YouTube, it was like, wow, people are playing games, this is excellent, you know. You can get exposure to a game before buying it, and it was more like a wonderment, a wide-eyed wonderment of what was going on because it was fresh and new, versus now it's just so commonplace. You know what I mean? It's almost like people take it for granted, and you know, that's kind of what's happened with my content. I think people take it for granted that I'm going to be around, and that, you know, people will complain when something's gone, but they won't complain. But they won't watch it when it's there. You know what I mean? So a perfect example of this is John Rambo and I have been doing amazing co-op for years. And there are people who love it, and they're mad that or disappointed or sad, whatever you want to say, however you're going to call it, that I'm moving next month. That's right. It's only a month and a half left before I move out of Connecticut. And they're very disappointed that this co-op is going away. The couch co-op, meaning that John's sitting right next to me when we play games. Keep in mind that we're still going to be doing things like Smart Guys. We're still going to try to do other things such as the WWE Sim matches. And we are still going to attempt to do gameplay a few times a year with games that you can play over the internet. But everyone complains that's going away, we're going to miss it. But then we play a game like Lego The Hobbit, which we love because we love The Hobbit. We love the Lord of the Rings universe. We like Lego games. And the viewership's low, and everyone, you know, no one watches. It's like, well, you can't have it both ways. You know what I mean? But it is what it is. People take shit for granted, right? So here I am in 2014, and I realize that my viewership has massively dwindled since 2011. 2011 was like the hot year. It really was. I was the underdog. I was the big dude. I was the one who, if you want to see a hot new game, you got to watch DSP play it, right? Not so much anymore. Now it's like, well, DSP's a great guy. He's funny, but, you know, a lot of people don't really even know who I am, or they only know me through the past year and a half when people have made these ridicule videos about me on YouTube. That's just being honest. A lot of people don't even give my content or give me the time of day because they think I'm a joke, because there's all these little kids who thought it would be a fun fad to make fun of the old guy. Make fun of the dinosaur. Make fun of the guy who kind of almost even started the trend of doing Let's Plays and becoming popular for it. And that's really the reality of the situation, you know? Being a realist. I'm not saying that I'm mad about it or anything. You don't hear me raging, right? At this point, like, you just kind of accept it after a point. And so these guys tweeted me last night. And they were so, like, blown away that I was watching their charity stream. And I'm like, I don't know why. You know, because all these reasons are going around in my head. And so they were like, gee, you know, it's great that you're in the stream chat. We'd really like to just shoot the shit with you on Skype for a bit. And I'll be honest with everyone, I was very tired. At that point of the night, you know, I might have a drink in me or two, and I did. And I was very tired. But I said, you know what, it's for charity. These guys seem legit. Let me just jump on Skype and shoot the shit with them for a little bit, which I did. And so, you know, I jumped on there. And I talked with them for about, I don't know, I'd say an hour and a half. I don't even know. It was late, so I don't even remember what time it really was when this started. And so I shot the shit with them. Talked about a variety of topics, including different things regarding subscriptions, subs, their love life, which, my God, some of the stuff they talked about. You know, hot topics at the time. Talked a little bit about TotalBiscuit. Talked a little bit about Twitch Plays Pokemon. We really just kind of shot the shit about a lot of stuff. For about 90, I'd say about 90 minutes. To the point where it was very early. It was like 6:30 in the morning, and I was falling asleep. So I bid them adieu, and I'm like about to get off the stream, and they're like, well, Phil, we just want to say thank you so much for coming on the stream. You've basically totally flipped our opinions on you by doing this. And thank you so much, and you seem like a really nice guy. And I was like, now wait a minute. Okay, hold on. Before I leave, can you guys tell me, how did you know about me before this? And what do you mean that I totally turned your opinion around? And they're like, well, we had never heard of you really before. And then, of course, with all the this is how you don't play videos and all the negative shit on YouTube about you, that is all we had seen or heard about you. And we thought that you were a dick. You know, based off of that, you know, kind of one-sided stuff. But now, you know, just talking with you for about an hour and a half, you know, we've had a little bit of insight, not only into a bunch of stuff that you've kind of gotten us informed on, but, you know, we had fun, and you seem like a legit guy, you seem like a stand-up guy, and we really like you. And I'm thinking in my head, and I'm thinking back, okay, to the days of Street Fighter. I'm thinking back to the days when I played competitive Street Fighter, where in the Street Fighter community, there was a group of people who their only purpose in the community was to make me look bad. We will shit on Phil. We will say he's an asshole. We will say he sucks. And I'm not talking about today. I'm talking about back in the day. Like, we're talking mid to late 2000s when I was competing with Super Turbo, okay? And I was the same person today. I'm the same person today that I was back then, so I was outspoken about things. And there's people who just don't like that. There's people who don't like an outspoken person. How dare that person bring shit up? How dare that person call stuff out? How dare they be an individual? How dare they not kiss the ass of the people who want to have their asses kissed? Or we feel that as a mainstream group that they should have their asses kissed, right? I strive to be an individual, a different person. And a lot of people didn't like that. And they basically, you know, started a smear campaign within the Street Fighter community to make me look bad. And it was funny because there were so many people who said, DSP's a dick, fuck DSP. And then they would meet me in person at a tournament, right? They would meet me in person and they would hang out with me. They would play Super Turbo with me. And they would literally literally the day after the tournament be like, wow, I've met DSP. I can't believe it. He's a different person than what everyone says. He's a different person than this, you know, what seems to be the commonality here. And, you know, why do people say this stuff about him? It's the same thing now. That's why, quite honestly, a lot of people say, I can't believe, Phil, that you take so much negativity and hate from the internet. You know, how do you do it? And the answer is because I've been through it before. Outspoken individuals who want to be themselves, who refuse to conform to societal norms, these are the people who will take this shit, you know, and it depends on what kind of a person they are, if they're going to endure it or not. And the bottom line is with Street Fighter, I've already been through this bullshit. The people who were jealous, the people who just didn't like the fact that there's someone who's trying to maybe shake up the boat a little bit and speak out against stuff. How dare this person be an outspoken individual? And they tried to destroy me. And it didn't work. You know, because as long as you persevere, you are yourself, you're honest and true to yourself, and you feel that you can persevere, you will persevere. And I ended up kind of, you know, when you think about it, in my competitive Street Fighter career, retiring at a point where I was kind of, you know, regarded as one of the best Super Turbo players in the country. And regardless of the fact that I didn't qualify to go to SBO or doing any of that, I can still say that under my belt, I have the fact that at 1 year EVO Nationals, I was 4th place, and the top 3 were Japanese players, so I was the top American player that year. I went to every regional. I won 2 East Coast regionals. I placed at every regional that I entered in 2007. And that if I ever wanted to become a competitive Street Fighter player again, I know I could do it. You know? And no one could take that from me, regardless of the fact that there's a bunch of kids on the internet who like to ignore fucking black and white facts that have been recorded, tournament results. There's people who actually think I've never been a competitive Street Fighter player. I have no skill in Street Fighter. And this is what they want to tell themselves. They're the ones drinking the Kool-Aid. You know? They're the ones who want to just talk about themselves so much that they want to say bullshit about me. And try to basically say that I didn't do things that I know I did. And it's funny because in a lot of ways, when things get old or outdated or history, they can kind of be rewritten. And so you got a whole group of people who would love to erase the fact that I was a great Street Fighter player, that I did a lot for the Street Fighter community, you know, running tournaments and such, that since I hit YouTube as a YouTube gamer, that I inspired thousands of people to get into gaming, to play games that maybe otherwise they wouldn't have played, to save a buck not playing a shitty game, to become a Let's Player themselves and play games on the internet, you know. And I'm not trying to stroke my own dick, because I don't need to stroke my own dick. Because when you know these things are fact in your own head, you don't need to really talk about them. But there are people who would love to pretend like I don't exist. You know, how could a 32-year-old dude who's so outspoken, who doesn't use all the cheap tricks of everyone else, who doesn't do the normal thing that it's known on YouTube to do to become a popular YouTube gamer, how dare he still be making a living doing it? And how dare he still be, you know, be known as a person? And these are the people who try to bring me down. And so these guys on the stream literally said to me, we've only known about you from your hate videos. People who hate on you and say this is how you don't play. And literally in the 90 minutes we've talked to you, you have made us get to know you to the point where now we know you're a cool guy. And we can't even believe the shit that people say about you, because if it was true, there was no chance you would have come on stream with us tonight. And I'm like, well, at least you guys have open minds, right? And at least you understand how the world works. Because there's plenty of people out there, unfortunately, who watch one video, right? And you watch one video, and that's it. You know, oh, someone said someone's a dick. It's Bible truth, which means, you know, definitive, undisputable truth. That because someone says that someone's a bad gamer, someone's a dick, someone's a jerk, that they're a horrible person, you know. These are the people who right now, and I swear to God this is true, how horrible and horrendous and disgusting this is, but it's happening, okay? TotalBiscuit yesterday came out and publicly admitted that he has cancer, or at least has cancerous cells in his body, and is trying to take initial steps to cure himself, to treat this disease. All right? That takes a ton of courage to admit that this is what's going on with him, and this is what's happening, okay? And I respect the guy immensely for doing it, because it's inspiring. It's a message that needs to be spread, that you know, get health checkups and getting things checked out. You know, he's trying to help other people. He's not looking for sympathy, you know? And you know, he comes out and he admits this yesterday, and I wish him nothing the best, and I said so on yesterday's pre-stream as well. And immediately, that's it. We've got to do it. We've got to find a way to destroy this person, because this is what we do. We're such miserable people. We're such disgusting entities that we must destroy. Not create, not support, not love, not help, not aid, not, you know, make sure that everyone in society is okay. Instead, we must kill. We must pillage and rape and burn. This is the mentality of people on the internet. It's disgusting. And they found a quote from TotalBiscuit from years ago, which obviously was probably a moment where he was so overcome with sadness or hatred or anger or whatever happened, okay? And he made a comment to someone on Twitter and said, "Get cancer and die." All right? Do you really think he meant it? You know what I mean? Do you really think he meant it? Do you really think that this guy, who his whole purpose is to make entertaining content for you on YouTube, who has a massive fan base but also a massive hatred base, and probably gets attacked by thousands of people on a daily basis, gets the nastiest shit thrown at him, and I know personally because I get it too, so I can empathize with him. Do you really think that he meant that one fucking thing that he said? So let's just ignore every other thing he's ever done on the internet, right? Let's forget anything that he's possibly done that was for good. And let's find the one time that he had weakness, and let's quote it. You know what I mean? This is the internet. So let me get this straight. Because he said that one thing, he deserves to have cancer? If you think that, you're fucked in the head, man. You are fucked up. You are fucking evil. I can't believe there are people who are saying this shit right now. You are evil. You are the fucking living embodiment of all that is wrong with the planet Earth. If that is the kind of person that you are, that you would find the one moment of weakness of someone and bring that up at their weakest moment, their most exposed moment, and say shit like that. Fuck you. And I mean it. I really mean it. Because that's fucked. That's sick. It's twisted. That's just unprecedented amount of fucking negativity and hate and evil there to say that shit, right? So, I want to say, first of all, thank you to the guys last night for having me on that pre-stream. That was nice. Even though I was dead tired and I was slurring my words because I had a few drinks or whatever, it was still fun. And I hope that, you know, in any way that I could have possibly helped you guys with your charity drive, I hope that I did. The bottom line is this, guys. No one asks me to do that stuff. Seriously, no one asks me. And honestly, the reason is probably because there's such a negative association with me at this point that no one would want to ask me, because they're afraid that just having me on their stream or being a part of something that they're working on would bring more negativity than positivity. And I completely understand that. And I don't hold it against anyone, you know, for that reason. There's actually a few people I talked to earlier this year who I'm very friendly with, and I asked, would you like to do a collaboration? And they basically said no because of what's going on with you right now. And I was like, you know what? I agree, and I can't fault you for that. You know, if I were in your shoes, I'd also be very trepidatious, I guess is the word. Afraid to do something with someone like me. So, you know. But these guys didn't give shit. They were like, you know, let's just try to get some attention. And I hope that I helped you guys out, okay? And I'm glad that, you know, after having a human conversation with you, that you were able to basically overcome whatever kind of bullshit is out there about me. And you were basically able to see the real person and say, wow, you know, you're a cool guy, you know? So thanks, guys, for having me on the stream. I want to say thank you to anyone out there who's a viewer of mine, who watches my content, regardless of the fact of all the crap that people love to fucking shit out on the internet about people. It's disgusting. It's vile. If you're into it, if you're into their little kitty bullshit and you think that it's funny, you need to rethink yourself. You need to rethink about what you do with your time. You know? I've said it before, I'll say it again. People who watch TMZ, a show that's primarily dedicated to exposing the moments of weakness and fault with celebrities. A show that has no creative content whatsoever to it. Nothing entertaining or fun. It's all just disgusting shit. But it's popular as hell. On the internet, it became a huge popular website. Then I know they have a TV show, and it's going to keep growing. Because this is the negative nonsense that people love to spew instead of focusing on positive, creative stuff. It's not right. It's messed up. And it needs to stop, but I don't think it ever will. But we need to fight against it. We need to collectively come together as positive people. As few and far between as we might be, we need to come together as positive people and fight the nonsense. Okay? Alright, and that's all I really have to say. There you go. A long-ass pre-stream. Unexpected, I'm sure. I guess I'll get back on topic now, and then we'll start because it's so late. Jesus, it's 3:15 already. Great, I talked for like a half hour. Child of Light! Yes, an RPG. Oh God, stay away. It's a turn-based RPG. Get out, right? And I hate to say that, but that seems to be the mentality of people. That if it's a turn-based RPG, unless it's South Park because it has South Park characters and humor in it, you better stay away, even though these games are the staple of gaming and pretty much, you know, were a huge thing at one point and became a giant genre of games and really have existed since, shit, the 1980s. But it is what it is. So a lot of people just stray away from it. Oh my God, it's an RPG. Can't play that, can't watch that. And, alright. So, we'll be doing about, at this point, since it is so late and I ranted so long in the pre-stream, it'll be about 3.5 hours of Child of Light gameplay today. And tonight, I'm doing Hate Live, my podcast, where it should be a good one. We've got some gaming news to discuss. I'm interested to hear what people's opinions are on some of the gaming news that's going on. We've also got a Back in the Day segment that's going to be all about comic books. All about my history with comics, the comics that I used to read as a kid. What I really liked, what the extent of my comic collection was, and how that kind of grew into other stuff, including collectible cards and stuff. And some of my favorite storylines of all time, my favorite characters. It's going to be a great segment, and it's very pertinent this week with the Amazing Spider-Man 2 coming out this week, because Spider-Man was one of the characters I follow. And then we are going to do live callers tonight, everybody. I want to make that abundantly clear. Last week we didn't do it because I got so caught up with what was going on the podcast, okay? But this week we are going to do live callers, so I hope that you'll join me later tonight for Hate Live, or if not, if you'll join me on YouTube for it. Because it is, you know, people like it. People like the podcast. They like the fact that I talk about stuff. And it's way different from a lot of my other content. Okay? Alright. So, without further ado, it is time to end the pre-stream, which has gone on far too long. And to actually jump into gameplay of Child of Light, which I'm actually very much liking. I hope you like it too. Obviously, you probably like it if you're watching the stream. And I say, let's do it, all right? So let me end the pre-stream and let's get started.
I'm Leanna, also known as Panda